Have you ever spotted a mysterious guest in a photo? Someone who was never there? Or seen a mirror that seems to trap souls? What about a shadow that quietly watches from the corner of the room? We've compiled the most chilling moments where ghosts and eerie entities were accidentally caught on camera. Back in 2007, a mother casually filmed her daughter playing in front of an old dressing table. The child turned to look at her mom, smiling, then glanced at the mirror. But in that brief second, something deeply wrong happened. The reflection didn't follow. One side of the mirror kept staring, blank, unblinking, like it knew it was being watched. Rumor has it the mirror was a family heirloom, passed down by someone the mother barely knew. Since then, viewers have sworn they feel watched after seeing the video. Coincidence? Maybe. But that reflection didn't blink. Hidden intent. Awakened by distant weeping, a man did what most of us wouldn't. He grabbed a camera and went searching. Down the hallway, something crouched, a dark figure, unmoving. He blinked, checked again. It was closer. Arms now raised. Not a trick of the light, not a shadow, something real. That's when he slammed the door and fled the house. Viewers say he made the right call, because whatever that thing was, it wasn't looking for conversation. It was waiting for something or someone. Silent reflection. In what looked like a normal moment between a mother and her daughter, something truly terrifying unfolded. The little girl was standing in front of the bathroom mirror, smiling innocently, until she turned to her mother. But her reflection didn't. It stayed frozen, then contorted into a grotesque, twisted expression that didn't match the girl at all. Viewers were divided. Some said possession, others claimed clever editing. But no explanation could take away the chill of seeing something so subtle and wrong happen in such a familiar setting. Party chaos.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Damn. Oh God.
Back in 2010, during a birthday party, something crazy happened. A family gathered around the cake, ready to light the candles. But before they could, the kitchen sink turned on by itself. The father rushed to shut it off, brushing it off as plumbing. But the calm didn't last. Cabinets began to swing open violently. Drawers slammed shut, one after the other, as if the room itself was angry.
What the hell is going on? Go to the front room. Go to the front room.
Screams echoed as they ran from the kitchen in terror. The house fell quiet once more, but the footage left behind revealed more than just a malfunction. It was pure chaos, unprovoked and unexplained.
What the hell is going on? Go to the front room. Go to the front room, girls. Go. Oh my God!
Phantom windows.
I told you I saw something right here. But it's inside now. Tap it on the window out. There.
Yeah.
A man always believed something wasn't right in the house across the street. For months, he'd watched strange movements through the windows, shadows gliding floor to floor, with no logical explanation. Police ignored his calls, brushing it off as imagination. So, he and his wife set up a camera. What they captured was chilling.
What the hell does its face look like?
Translucent figures darting between rooms, sometimes appearing simultaneously in different parts of the house. The footage dismissed any chance of it being a human trick. Viewers were left unsettled. If this were real, it meant more than one spirit had claimed that home, and no one knew why they were still there.
What the fuck is that?
Mirror Girl. A couple had just moved into a new house. While doing a live stream, they were showing the main room and talking to each other. Suddenly, something strange appeared in the mirror behind them. It was the ghost of a little girl in a white dress. People watching the live stream were shocked. Some said she looked sad, like she didn't belong there. Neighbors later said a young girl had passed away in that very room long ago, and that ghostly figure might belong to her. No one knows if the story is true, but that clip is now now one of the most talked about ghost videos online.
I don't know, I don't get a weird feeling in this room at all. Do you feel weird, Becca?
Uninvited guest. The room was filled with laughter, music, and candlelight. A birthday party was in full swing. But when the family watched the footage later, the celebration turned cold. Behind the birthday girl stood a figure, pale, still, and completely unnoticed in real time. Long, dark hair masked its face as it loomed silently near the cake. Some dismissed it as lightning, but others drew from ancient traditions, where birthdays were believed to thin the veil between worlds. Candles were lit to ward off spirits, but this one slipped through anyway. Not everything claps or sings when it shows up at a party. Mirror Rift. This clip from the early 2000s is a quiet nightmare. A family gathered in the living room, chatting casually, until one girl glanced into the mirror. That's when everything went wrong. Her reflection didn't match her movements. It twisted into a different expression. While everyone else remained unaware, the girl stared in horror at a version of herself that no longer mirrored her. No glitches, no tricks, just a reflection that had a mind of its own. It's the kind of footage that makes you rethink ever looking too long into a mirror again. Shadow guest. On their second anniversary, this lady wanted to capture the memory. Just a casual video of laughter and love. But what the camera saw wasn't love. As she recorded herself in the living room, a shadowy figure glided past in the background. She froze, turned, and ran to check. No one was there. Her husband hadn't seen anyone either. The internet exploded with theories, some suggesting it was a ghost trapped in the home. Others warned them to leave before it turned dangerous. Was it a coincidence? Or had the camera captured someone or something that had never left? What do you think it might be?
You didn't just see something come in here?
Candle Phantom. Birthday surprises are always a blast, but things can get super weird when an unexpected guest shows up, like a ghost. So, a group of Japanese girls decided to throw a surprise party for their friend and had her blow out the candles. Everything seemed totally normal until they turned the lights off. When she went to blow out the last candle, something absolutely wild happened. A huge humanoid face popped up. They had no clue it was there until they posted the video online, and then all hell broke loose. People were stunned. No one knows who or what that face was. What do you think it could have been? Staring reflection. The baby was just babbling in front of the mirror, mom casually recording the cute moment. Nothing seemed out of place until it did. As the child turned toward his mother, the reflection didn't move. It just stayed still. Then its eyes turned solid black. Not shadowed, not a trick of the light. Black. While some believe the video was digitally manipulated for viewers, others weren't so sure. The child's reflection wasn't just delayed, it was disconnected, like something else had taken its place. One thing was certain, something looked back. Headless apparition. In the Middle East, a group of teens explored an abandoned school, but it's what followed them that raised eyebrows. First, strange growls echoed from nowhere. Then, their fully charged camera suddenly dropped to 0. Just as panic started creeping in, a headless figure emerged, seemingly from the wall itself. Right at that moment, the Islamic call to prayer could be heard in the background. Some claim the figure was retreating from the sacred sound. Others say it was caught mid-escape. But the real question is, where did it go when the clip ended? Toilet trouble. Late at night, a woman heard a strange sound. It was quiet, but it felt like someone was calling her. She grabbed her phone and started recording. When she went to check, she opened the bathroom door and saw the toilet seat lid moving by itself. That's when things got weird. She ran back to her room. Things started falling, and the lights kept flickering, and the video ends there. People online said there could be something evil in that house. Others think it was just a strange night. But one thing's for sure, she didn't feel safe there anymore. Not alone in room 14. So, this guy was checking out of a hotel room, but he wasn't alone. Someone had followed him inside. Sounds pretty creepy, right? But get this, that someone wasn't even human. There's this CCTV footage that's been going around, and it shows this weird shadow sneaking up behind him. It's a short, stubby figure that definitely has a vibe to it that's not quite right. You might think it looks like a kid, but kids don't just fade away like that, do they? Honestly, it feels like this could be one of those shadowy creatures from Legends. Playful and kind of mischievous, but sometimes they can get really violent out of nowhere. Swing room. No parent wants to believe this could happen in their home. A toddler playing alone in his room seemed happy until the footage revealed otherwise. An empty swing began to move gently, then violently, as if someone invisible had climbed on and was now furious. The closet door creaked open by itself. Some viewers believed he was playing with a ghost. Others think the entity didn't want to play. It wanted him gone. Whatever it was, it left behind more than just a swinging seat. It left questions no one wants answered. Ghost child. There's something super eerie about stumbling upon a ghost when you're just out having a good time. In this Reddit clip, a group of guys is filming outside at night, and they catch sight of this tiny figure off in the distance. It's just standing there, totally still in front of a lit-up building, just watching them. Then they see it again. Same creepy shadow, different building, still not moving. One of them jokes that it looks like a creepy figurine, which honestly just makes it even worse. By the next shot, the figure's vanished. People in the comments are divided. Some think it's totally staged, while others admit it's still pretty freaky. One commenter even suggests they should check back to see if it's still there. Yeah, no thanks. Some things are better left alone. Wall watcher. Just outside an abandoned house, a few locals were passing when they froze. Something massive peeked out from behind a crumbling wall. A towering shadow, motionless, with glowing white eyes. It didn't move. It just stared. The group didn't wait to ask questions. They backed away, whispering that it could be a djinn, a spirit known to guard desolate places. Some believe these beings hate intrusions, especially during dusk hours. Whatever it was, the house wasn't just empty, it was claimed, and whatever lived there clearly didn't want visitors. Library spirit. At 3 a.m., the school should have been silent, but a CCTV camera detected movement in the study hall. When the staff checked the footage, they were stunned. A girl sat calmly at the table, alone, quiet, but when she turned around, her face was horrifying, sunken eyes glowing faintly, and her expression filled with rage. Rumors say she was a student, once bullied, until she vanished under tragic circumstances. Some say her spirit now haunts the place she once sought peace, and every now and then, especially during the quietest hours, she returns to her seat, still waiting for justice. Window watcher. In 2008, a camcorder captured more than just city life. While filming the streets of New York, a man passed a quiet residential block, routine at first glance. But as he zoomed in on a window, something pale and unnatural appeared. A young girl stood behind the glass, but her expression and features weren't normal. Her eyes seemed lifeless, her skin too white. As soon as she realized she was being watched, she slipped back into the shadows. Some argued it was just a kid with a mask, but others felt there was no child behind that glass, just something pretending to be one. Woken in wires.
We see nothing.
The lights are off right now. Oh, it just moved. It just moved. It just moved.
What was once just an abandoned building suddenly lit up, like something inside had been reactivated. Guards doing routine rounds were stunned when the lights flickered on, all by themselves. But what followed was far more chilling. In one of the lit rooms, a tall, dark figure appeared. It didn't move, just watched. Seconds later, two more forms appeared behind a glass wall, silent, still waiting.
I love this building.
One of the guards unknowingly walked right past them, unaware of how close he'd come. This wasn't an edit or an electrical malfunction. The building wasn't empty anymore. It had been waiting to be noticed.
It just moved. It just moved.
I just heard a weird...
Basement blur. Caught by a security camera in the basement, this figure was barely visible at first. A shadow, small, human-like, almost the size of a child. The homeowner claimed it never caused harm, just appeared sometimes. Some believe it's the spirit of a child who died on the property years ago. Others think it's something mimicking innocence to be let in. Whatever it is, it shows up quietly. No screams, no slamming doors, just silence and a shape that shouldn't be there. Lifted away. This footage, reportedly taken in an undisclosed location, feels like something straight out of a horror movie. A man walks into an apartment. It's quiet. He drinks a glass of water. Then, without warning, something pulls him upward. A dark form latches onto him and drags him midair across the room. It looks unreal, but it's all there on tape. The video ends abruptly, just as he disappears behind a doorway. No screams, no explanation. He's just gone, and no one has seen him since. Vanishing guest. From New Orleans comes this eerie Ring camera clip. A man set it up after hearing footsteps at night and lights flickering on by themselves. At first, the footage looked normal. Then the lights switched off, and a dark figure glided into the room. A few seconds later, the lights turned back on, but the figure was gone. Viewers were quick to point out the entity's strange posture and movement, calling it something evil. The homeowner said he never saw anything, but after this, he swears he hears breathing when he's home alone. Tree warning. A nature videographer, known for capturing wildlife in Patagonia, stumbled on something he couldn't explain. While biking through the mountains, he panned up and saw it. A human-shaped figure dangling from a tree. It didn't move, didn't swing, just hung there. Some say it was a doll. Others say it was a warning left behind. Locals have seen things like this before, markers to keep people away from certain areas. Whatever it was, it didn't belong in a forest known for silence and stillness. Even the birds weren't singing. The fridge shadow. A convenience store worker said his night shift took a really creepy twist, and the video he recorded might just prove it. It all started when one of the fridge doors started swinging open by itself. At first, he figured it was just a glitch or maybe a draft, but as he got closer, his camera caught something that made him freak out. A dark, shadowy figure moving past the fridge that looked almost human. The thing is, he was alone in the store. He panicked and ran into the storage room, trying to wrap his head around what he'd just seen. When he checked the room, though, it was totally empty. Some people think he caught a shadow man on camera. On board.
No mames.
Francisco Hernandez worked as a night guard near an airport. One night he heard noises coming from a plane. It sounded like someone was inside, so he went to check. He looked everywhere, but found nothing. Then, the air suddenly felt cold.
Verga.
He turned around and saw a shadowy figure for just a second, and then it was gone. It was clearly someone stalking him. Anyway, he ran out of that place. And the next day, Francisco quit his job. The video was shared online, and many believe he saw something paranormal. Some say it was a ghost. Others think it was a trick of the light, but Francisco never went back to that place again. Sprinting shadow. Trouble had been stirring in the cattle fields. Nervous animals, odd noises, things out of place. The farm owner, tired of unexplained disruptions, set up a security camera to monitor the livestock overnight. What the footage revealed was nothing short of bizarre. A small, humanoid figure sprinting across the pasture in the middle of night. Its proportions were childlike, yet something about it was off. When he posted the video online, theories exploded. Some claimed it was a mythical creature. Others said it was the reason the animals had been on edge. The biggest warning was clear: get the animals out of there before it comes back. Guarded presence. Security footage rarely lies. A night guard, growing paranoid from the feeling of being watched, finally decided to review his shift camera. At first, nothing unusual. Then, a faint movement in the corner. A shapeless, nearly invisible blur hovered briefly near his post. Seconds later, the man sat upright, visibly disturbed. He later described the sudden cold, the static in the air, the breath on his neck. But when he turned, nothing. It wasn't until the playback that others saw it too. Now that clip circulates among night workers, all wondering what else watches when the cameras are rolling.
I saw that shit. And I'm like...
Headless road. Two girls in Italy were walking alone on a dark road late at night. Their car had stopped working, and they were trying to get help. While filming the walk, one of them suddenly froze. Up ahead stood a tall, pale figure with no head. Then, it started running toward them. The girls ran, scared. One looked back for a second, but the figure had disappeared. Just like that. Gone. The video ends there, and no one really knows what happened next. Some people say it was a real ghost. Others think it might have been someone stalking them. Either way, it was really scary. Shadow ward. Late-night chatter among hospital staff turned unsettling within seconds. As the surgeons stood outside a storage room, security footage caught a dark figure silently walking past them, unseen in the moment, but chilling in playback. No staff was logged in that wing, and the hallway had been cleared. Driven by curiosity, one of the surgeons entered the room to investigate. It was empty at first. Then, without warning, a metal trolley rolled forward on its own. No push, no draft, just motion. The air turned cold, heavy. Something unseen had stirred. In a place meant to heal, something else seemed to linger. Floating hoodie.
The roof is off. Holy shit!
While exploring an abandoned house, a group of urban explorers got more than broken drywall and creaky floors.
What the fuck?
Just over a minute into their video, a figure appeared upstairs. Hooded, dark, but gliding, not walking, floating. One of them swears there was no sound, no footsteps, just a sudden, silent presence drifting across the hallway. Some skeptics say it's a prank or a squatter, but the way it moved, almost like it wasn't touching the ground at all. And those eyes, they weren't looking at the camera, they were looking through it.
Let's go to the radio house.
Alright.
Mirror twist. Mirrors can get pretty creepy if they start acting weird. A girl was just in the dance studio practicing her moves with all those mirrors around her. After an intense half hour, she paused to catch her breath. That's when it happened. In the mirror behind her, her reflection turned its head toward her, but she hadn't moved. A soft, eerie sound crept into the room, sending chills down her. She stood up, heart racing, and backed away slowly. Her reflection didn't follow. It just stared, lifeless. She didn't notice at first, but soon she realized something was off. Sensing the paranormal behavior of the mirror, she quickly left, and after that, the studio was sealed forever. Curtain Watcher. It started as an innocent walk among friends exploring a long abandoned mansion. The place was silent, eerily untouched by time. But as they stood outside, gazing up at its decaying frame, one of them noticed a face behind the curtain. Pale, motionless, wrong. It didn't belong there. The group froze as the face slowly drifted out of view, like it was aware it had been seen. There was no movement inside, no sound, just that disturbing glance. None of them dared go inside. Whatever had watched them from behind the curtain wasn't seeking help. It was observing patiently. Slipped in. A group of friends was casually filming a fun moment together, laughing, posing, nothing out of the ordinary. But when they played the footage back, there was something else. Just behind the last girl in the frame, a pale, blurry figure flickered into view, just for a second, almost like it had wandered into the shot by mistake. Only the last girl seemed to react, turning ever so slightly as if she felt it. When they posted the clip online, viewers spotted it too, and froze. It was barely there, but that fleeting glimpse was more than enough. Some things don't mean to be seen, but still show up. Window Watcher. In the middle of night, something strange stirred this man from his sleep. Jolted awake by an unshakable feeling, he flicked on the lights, and that's when he saw it. Through the window, something was watching him, just a pale shape. Frozen, like it was spying. Shaken but unsure, he turned the lights off and tried to sleep again. Moments later, he couldn't resist. He turned the lights back on, and this time, a hand appeared on the glass. Thin, still, unmoving. Was it a ghost or something worse? Either way, it wasn't trying to break in. It was just watching. Room 209. Back in 2003, a hotel staffer responded to horrifying screams coming from room 209, a room that was officially unoccupied. As he walked closer, the sounds grew more twisted, almost inhuman. Then, something strange. Security footage captured a shadowy figure rushing out of the room. Just as the hallway lights began flickering, the employee entered and found no one inside. Yet the scene was chaotic.
See what's going on. Wait one.
Furniture overturned, carpet torn, the shower running. No signs of life, just the stench of fear. He left the room pale and shaken. The footage ends there. No explanation. Just one question left hanging in the dark. What really happened in room 209?
There's reports of screaming coming from that room.
Behind the sofa. A mother, casually cleaning her living room, was being recorded by her daughter. Just another home video. Until it wasn't. As the daughter pans the camera slightly to the right, a tall, dark shadow suddenly appears, watching them silently from the corner. The girl quickly turns back. Nothing there. The family didn't take chances. They moved out soon after, reporting the scent of sulfur and random insect infestations all over the house. Classic signs, some say, of demonic energy. Coincidence? Maybe. But sometimes the darkness doesn't knock, it just watches. Resident that never left. In a quiet UK town, an old house stood empty for years, until a hopeful family moved in. Locals warned them about the builder who supposedly died inside and never left. At first, the family ignored the stories, but the unease crept in quickly. Footsteps, cold spots, whispers. Then the CCTV caught it. A figure near the front entrance, materializing out of thin air, then vanishing just as fast. They say houses can hold memories, but what if they hold more than that? Porch Phantom. A homeowner's Ring camera caught something wild. A translucent figure walked up to the porch, reached for a drink, took a sip, then casually vanished into thin air. The weirdest part? The homeowner was right there, on the other side of the door. She swears there was no one on the porch. Nothing at all. And yet, the footage doesn't lie. Maybe it wasn't just a ghost looking for attention. Maybe it was thirsty too. Midnight guest. A night shift worker was seen in a CCTV video helping someone, but here's the strange part. No one else was there. The video showed the worker greeting someone, taking notes, and even offering a wheelchair. He said it was an old man asking for directions, but when they checked the footage, no one else was visible. Later, they found records of a man matching that description, someone who had passed away months earlier. Was it his ghost? Some believe it was. Others say the worker imagined it, but the video still gives people chills to this day. Hollow tenant. That's why it's a good idea to look up the history of stuff you're planning to buy. And this guy found that out the hard way. Not long after moving in, he began hearing mechanical clanks and soft knocking behind the walls. Hoping to find a rational explanation, he started recording the strange sounds. As he called out, asking who or what was there, the noise persisted. Then he aimed the camera toward a narrow gap near the ceiling, and that's when it appeared. A pale, humanoid face with glowing eyes stared back at him. No explanation, no warning, just that chilling stare. Locals urged him to leave immediately. Whatever was hiding in the walls wasn't meant to be disturbed. Invisible visitor. Working late has its own kind of silence, but one admin worker wasn't alone. During a slow shift, someone walked in, polite, friendly. They talked, even pulled out a chair and laughed together. But later that night, a colleague asked a strange question. Who were you talking to? The admin brushed it off until they checked the security footage. The chair moved, the door opened, but no one entered. No face, no footsteps. Just one person talking to nothing. By morning, that worker had cleared his desk. Whatever that presence was, it came in unnoticed and left with a witness. Ghost child. A woman came forward with a strange story and a clip to go with it. Her husband's best friend once lived in the same house, constantly capturing orbs on his Ring camera and feeling an unseen presence. The house never felt right. He divorced, moved out, and thought he left it all behind. But months later, the new owners reached out. They'd caught something in their living room while no one was home. They had kids, sure, but the house was empty that day. The video? Unsettling. A faint figure. A voice, almost like a child calling for help. And now they're filing for divorce, too. Doorway dread. He woke to a sound that didn't belong. A long, scraping screech echoed through his home. Dismissing it at first, he turned over until it came again. This time louder. He grabbed his flashlight and phone, pressing record. That's when the bedroom door slowly creaked open, then slammed shut. It happened again and again. Then, standing in the doorway, was a dark figure, tall, unmoving, watching. He dove under the covers, hoping ignorance would save him, but the footage said otherwise. Whatever was at that door wasn't dreaming and wasn't leaving. Open discussion. It started as a harmless home video, a father filming his toddler laughing and playing. The child wandered near a large mirror, and that's when it appeared. In the reflection, another child was visible, facing the toddler, yet with no one physically there. The figure lingered for just a moment, then faded. The father didn't notice it at first, but when he re-watched the video, chills ran down his spine. Some say mirrors trap energy, or even spirits. Others believe it was a ghost child trying to reach out. And one thing's for sure, something else was in that room, and it saw everything.